What's up guys, Reese here from reese3d.com. So this is our third tutorial in creating this chair. So if you haven't watched the previous parts, I have added links to those in the description. I will also link the previous part in the cards up here so you can check that out as well. Now, if you look at the picture that we used as reference, it's a little complicated. So I'll show you two different methods, okay? So you can just pick the one that you like and you can continue building the chair from there. So the easiest way is just to use a cube and then extrude from that, okay? So that way it would look a bit more uniform and then you can just connect to the body of the chair from there. Okay, so I'm going to use the side view here. Let me make that smaller. Press space bar to look at the full viewport, and I want to make this chair go up here. I mean the cube go up here, and from this I can actually make it smaller. All right, and bring it over here. Okay, I want to rotate that a little bit. Okay, and I'm just going to go to vertex mode. Bring this guy a little bit like so, bring this guy a little bit like so. All right, so I'm actually starting from this corner. You can actually start from the center or any other side based on your wish. Okay, so I'm gonna keep this shape, and from this shape I'm gonna extrude both sides. Okay, so this one and this one. Okay, I pressed shift key and extruding both of them, you see. And we can actually work from one side and then build the rest of the things on the other side. So I'll select both of these guys, move it all the way over here. Okay, now I can rotate this. If you're wondering how I got that rotation tool, I'm using the keyboard shortcut that is E. Okay, so W for move, E for rotate, and R for scale. All right, so I'm gonna make it like that, and I'll do another extrude from here by selecting this face. If I'm not able to select this face, I'm gonna just go ahead and select that face and extrude one more time. Okay, and pull this down, extrude one more time, pull this all the way down here. So you can see again I'm building the shape that we actually wanted. So I'll just make this a bit smaller here, bring this down, bring this down, and keep it like so. And I'll do one more extrude, and before that I can actually shape this guy down here and this guy down here. Okay, so as you can see I'm getting the shape of the handle. Okay, and I'll do a couple of more extrudes. So this one and this one, I'm going to do one more extrude. This time this is going to go down. All right, and again I will do a bit of rotation here. So I'm just going to work on the vertex, so that's a bit easier. I'll move this guy over here, move this guy over here, and I'll do the same thing for this one as well. Now you can have more number of extrudes as you wish. Okay, so from this I can actually do a little bridge. Okay, so remember bridge, I can just choose this face and select this face and choose bridge. I mean shift right click and choose bridge here. Where is bridge faces? There you go. So that way we can also connect those two guys. That's it. So we get the basic shape from here, and I just want to give a little bit more thickness, or maybe I'll make the downside a bit thinner compared to the top, because we can have the handle thicker in the top, and then as it go down it can become thinner as well. All right, so I'll add a couple of more divisions here. It doesn't have to be precise. I'm just adding random edge loops here, one there and one here, and I can just select these edges. Oops, select these edges, just push it slightly down to get that shape there, and I can make some connection from this to the actual base of the chair by extruding. So I can either extrude that, or I can even extrude down and then further extrude it. Okay, So that's up to you, whatever kind of look that you want to create. Now we also need to smooth it out and see how that looks. Okay, so we could extrude like this and then select both of these guys and extrude them inside. Okay, so this is totally personal preference, so whichever way you want, whichever way you like the look of it. Okay, so you can do this as well. Now I'm gonna just apply some smooth here by pressing 3. So as you can see, it looks nice. We might have to add some extra details just to make the handle a bit more sharper. Okay, so I can also do some adjustment here. I'll go to the side view here. Let me see if I can select the vertex, select these vertices and scale them in. Now when you end up with scaling that is weird in weird angle, this actually happened because we started with the rotation on the original object itself. Okay, so if this happens, you can actually go to the settings here and you can just reset that, or you can change from object mode to world mode. So that would just fix that issue temporarily, because once we're done with just this little change, we can actually bring it back to the way it was before. Alright, so let me just minimize that and see if I can have a better look this time. I can as well just bring this edge a bit inside, okay, with this one as well. And if we want to have a higher smoothness, we can actually add more divisions as well. And I'm just going to apply a bevel here. Let's say I'll go to edge mode, double click on this edge to select all those guys. Not sure if I have to select these ones as well or not. I think better to select them as well. So we'll apply bevel together, and I'll select this bottom ones, double click on this one as well. As you can see, that's not connected here. Let's see how this result looks. We may have to select some other edge loops as well if needed. Okay, so now I'll go ahead and shift right click and choose bevel edge. I'll go to apply that. I think that looks good, and I'll add segments there just like that. I'll hit 3. There you go. So that looks very nice. Okay, so if you think that you're not liking the end result here, we could have actually added the this area also along with the bevel. So let me just undo that step, Control Z. Okay, so let me add this one as well, this one as well. I actually double click so that it will also select if there's any other edges that are connected in the other side. So I think it should become a bit better now. Okay, let me just select this one as well. Okay, so you can basically experiment out, find out which result is looking good for you, and you can make changes to that as well. Okay, I think that looks perfect. I'll go ahead and press 3. There you go. That's nice. Now you can see that this area is not that smooth, so what I can do is I can actually add one edge loop everywhere here. So one here, and one here, one here. So I'll look at it from the side view here. I'm going to add insert edge loop tool. Let me just add one here. Just adjust it a little bit so that it creates a bit of smoothness there. And I'll add one here. I'll also add a couple of them, one here. I'm using the move tool just to move it out. Now the more edge loops that you add, the smoother it's going to be. So if you want, you can actually add a couple of them here as well, a couple of them here as well, based on the kind of look that you want to create. So now you can see that it looks much better. So I can actually group it so that the easy way to bring the center pivot point to the center, and I'll actually do a duplicate special and reset there, mirror to in x-axis. So I'll give -1 here, hit duplicate special. So yep, that's the result. Now what I'm going to do is I am actually going to my outliner and selecting these two guys, and I'm going to put them in a layer here and hide it for now. Okay, so we can create the next type of handle. So if you want to show like multiple different types of chairs, you can have all of them and you can just swap the handles to create a different kind of look. Okay, so now let's try to create this shape. Okay, so as you can see, we can actually start from the top and then we can build the rest of the area by extruding. So I'm going to start again with a simple cube. So create polygon primitives and cube. Okay, so let me just bring this up here, make it totally flat. All right, and I want to scale it just horizontally. Okay, so now you can see that we have a flat surface. This is just the top portion of the handle. Okay, so I'm going to bring this out over here. So now once we have created this, we want to make the vertical shape, so that's going to be slanting here, and then I also want to have a similar shape right in the bottom back side as well. Okay, so what I'll do is I will make it even thinner. Okay, make a copy of it, and then this copy is going to be rotated down like so to the exact shape that we wanted. So I'll do that and move this over here, and I want to push all these vertices up like so, and this one is going to be placed somewhere here. I'm trying to create a connection between these two guys. Okay, so I'm just going to keep it like so, bring it down, keep it over here. Looks good. Now first thing that I have to do when I create a connection between these two guys is I have to combine them into a single object. Now you can see that this is one object, and if I go back here, yes, that's cube 6 and this is cube 7. So let me select both of them and shift right click and choose combine. There you go. So now you can see that it became cube 8. That's just one single object, and actually the other one's transforms just went inside, something like that. So if I want to clean up the scene, I have to delete these two guys. I can just go to edit, delete by type, history, and you can see that the cube 6 and 7 just disappeared. So this is this process that we can do at the end as well, but just to clean up these things, we can do that now also. So I'll select this guy and shift select this guy and go to bridge faces. There you go. So now I can increase or change the curve type to blend and increase the number of divisions, so you can see that we have a nice smooth result there. I'm just going to increase that maybe a couple of more. That looks nice. Okay, so next thing that I want to do is I want to make the bottom side a bit thinner. All right, looking good. Maybe, yeah, something like that. Now I also want to have a copy of the same shape, or maybe even another cube down here. For the bottom area. Okay, and this one is going to be actually placed under the seat. Okay, so somewhere here, and I want to make it a bit thinner as well. There it is. Okay, so let me make it a bit wider. Okay, so now I have to create a connection between this as going down and then getting connected to this. Okay, so it goes down and then gets connected to that. So let me just bring this guy even down. Like so. So this time, instead of using the bridge, I'm going to just extrude it myself because it's a little complicated shape here. So I'll select this guy, extrude that, bring it down. And if you think that this is a little too complicated, you can actually use the same method that I showed you with the earlier handle as well. So that's up to you. Right, so that's kind of shape that I want. And I want this to basically go one more step inside. So we'll do one more extrude. Okay. Now, if I pull it like this, you can see that it goes in an angle, right? So if you don't want to go in an angle, you can actually go to the move tool, so that'll move it straight instead of moving it in an angle, right? And I want to bring this like so, and actually I could have created a bridge between these two guys, and that would have made things easier. So yes, that's what I will do. I'll undo that. Okay, so that's fine, and this guy needs to be rotated like so. All right, and now between these two I can create a bridge. So I'll select both of them and choose shift right click and choose combine to make them as one object. And now I can select this face and shift select this face, and I can do bridge faces. There it is. All right, so if you think it's a little thicker here, we can just push it up just to make it thinner. Okay, let me press 3 and see how that looks. Yes, that looks nice. I will have to add some more details, but that's fine for now. Looking good. Now, just to add details, I can also just simply use this edges and this edges and apply a bevel. Let me see if I can do that same with this guy as well, so that they will basically have a bit smooth result there. So let me increase the fraction a bit, just a little bit. Yes, that looks nice. And maybe just one segment, that should do. Or even no segment should be fine. Let me just press 3 down. Yes, that looks much more smoother compared to the way it was before. Okay, now I also need to connect the same thing right in the back side. So let me just create another cube here, and then I can just connect it. Or I can actually create one cube right here and then merge it along with this guy. So let me just choose cube. So this is basically for the back side. So I'm going to make it thinner, slightly like so, maybe a bit thicker as well. I'm going to bring it over here. Actually, the image is not showing the clarity how it is in the back, but so we can just assume with the benefit of doubt. Okay, so I think it's going to be something like that. And I want to just keep half of it so that I can make a mirror to the other side. So I'll just use the grid snap to put it exactly in the center. And from here I can actually connect these two guys. I'll select both of them using the object mode and shift right click and choose combine, so that becomes one object. And I can now create a face bridge faces. There you go. And I want to make this as blend, or maybe even curve. I think blend is fine. And add a couple of divisions. There you go. That is it. So now maybe I can just move this guy. Let me see if I can move these vertices. No, it won't work now. All right, so this object has a lot of operations happening here. So what I'll do is I will actually go to edit and delete all by type history, so that gets rid of all the history. And I also want to get rid of these green colors. These green colors are actually places or faces that doesn't have a proper textures. So what I'll do is I will just to clean up the mesh, I'm just going to apply an existing material here. So that's Lambert, and that cleans that off. Okay, now this one is going to be mirrored to the other side, so I'm going to delete this other side as well. All right, and one last thing, here we need to make one more copy, which is going to be connected to the bottom here. Okay, so let me just go to these vertices, pull this back. Okay, so it's not touching there, we can fix that no issues. So I'll go ahead and create another cube. So this cube is going to be moved over here. Make it smaller, maybe a bit wider here, or smaller, and pull it up. So I think I'm gonna align it somewhat like that. Okay, and this is supposed to be coming out towards the side as well, side or even back. I think back. And I think this guy should also be more closer, like so. Which means this also needs to be a bit more closer, like so. Maybe I'll put it right in the middle. Not here, not there. Okay. So, and this is going to be, actually I think I should create this guy over here. And it's actually going to be touching, connecting this mesh as well, or wrapping around the mesh. Let me make it taller. And it will be connected up here. That looks nice. Okay, so what I'll do now is I will actually combine these two objects. So let me select both of them and combine, so it becomes one object. And I can now do face merge, bridge, and increase the divisions, change this to blend so it creates a smooth look there. Alright, and up here I also need to create the same look, but because we have less number of faces here, so I won't be able to do that. So what I'll do is, just to create the same look, I'm just going to give some space here. Alright, I'll bring this down. Okay, a little bit down as well, so that we can have that smooth result. So 1, 2, bridge faces, make this blend and increase the divisions. There you go. Alright, so let me just apply the existing material, Lambert 1, and that should clear off those greenish issues. Now just to keep the edges a bit smooth, I can just double click on all these corners. That should select everything. Yes, 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 good, except this one. So let me select that one as well. And I'm going to apply a bevel here, a little more fraction. Just add 2 segments, select that, press 3, yes, so that's smooth. Okay, now there's a little problem, we can fix that either from this one or from this one. I feel like it's a little thick, so I'll make it a bit thinner here. So that should fix the issue. There you go. So once that is done, I just need to make sure that the pivot point is right in the center. If it's not, I can press either the D key or the insert key and turn on my grid snap and then snap it to the center to bring that back. And then I'll press the D key one more time to come out of the insert mode. And now, before I duplicate, I just want to delete all by type history. That gets rid of all the history of the entire file. And now I can make a mirror to the other side. So I'll go to edit, duplicate special, options, edit, reset. Let me just duplicate in x-axis, so that is scale 1 for x, and we get the other side as well. If you think it's too thick, maybe we can just make it a bit thinner. I think it's too thick. Get rid of that. Let me just select these guys, go here. This can be thinner. That's it. Maybe thinner from this side as well. Okay, now I'll do the same, duplicate special one more time, so we get the other side. Okay, so just the one last thing that we have to do, which is the mesh here. Okay, so that's going to be quite simple. It's just a cube. We could have actually created it from the space that we had here, which we deleted, right? So I'm going to do something else here. Select this face, okay, and I'm going to double click on the next face that is here, so that's going to select all these guys. Okay, so that's going to have the entire stuff here. I'm going to extrude from here, and I'll pull it out like so, slightly. Okay, so now we have created a little thickness here, and I want to do one more extrude. Now with this extrude, again, I'm going to push it slightly out. Okay, notice what we have here, and I'm going to delete this shape. Okay, so what will happen is we have a big hole here, right? So to fill this hole, all I have to do is I have to just double click on this edge. Okay, and I'm going to raise this up. Okay, so I'm going to bring this out. I'll take my move tool and then bring it out slightly. Okay, you can bring it out too much also, because we can just move it back anytime we want. So just to show that little projection, and I'm going to press shift right click and choose fill hole. That's it. So we have that hole filled up. Now for creating the look of that mesh, we can actually apply a material on top of this. Okay, so the back side will also have a hole which we also need to fill up. So let me just double click on this last edge and fill hole. Okay, so there is a little problem here, so let's see what's happening. Okay, that's because we don't have a connection here. So let me just do that connection as well, so that just to make sure that we don't have that problem again. And to do that, I'm going to go to multi-cut tool. I'll select this first one. Let me just see if I'm selecting the right one here. Okay, so there it is. Yes, this one is going to be connected to the first one here. Okay, press enter. Yes, there it is. So that itself fixed the problem, but we also want to make sure that everything is connected here. So this one to this point, press enter, and this one to this point, press enter, this one to this point, press enter, and we will have to do the same thing in the back side as well. Even though it's not showing the problem, it's better to fix it. So this completes this tutorial. If you have any questions or comments, you can write them in the comment section below, or if you want to have quick access help, you can also join our WhatsApp group, so you can just post questions there and either me or somebody else will answer you there. So catch you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.